students, welcome to this lecture on federalism. Well, in this lecture, we are going to talk about what is federalism. We are also going to talk about what are the key aspects or constituents of federalism. All this we will understand by taking India as an example, by also taking the current examples happening in the country all around to make it more interesting for you. So let's get started. Now students, you must be aware about this term federalism. Think for yourself, what is federalism? Well, federalism is a system of government where the power is divided between the center, state, as well as the local government. What do you mean by this? Well, in terms of India, if you understand, there is a central government. We have BJP government right now. There are various states and union territories which have their own chief ministers and governors. We have local government in India, which is known by the name of Panchayati Raj. Now, all these three domains you can see, each have their individual power, has their individual lists or works that they work on. So, there is clear division of power happening between these three domains. This is called federalism. We know India is a federal country. Now, let us also understand what are the key features of federalism. Key features of federalism which defines federalism. That federalism should be like this. So, the first feature, students, is jurisdiction. I'll give you example to decode this word. Now, student, what do you mean by jurisdiction? Let's say if there is a murder, there is a flooding, there is something related to public order, infrastructure that has happened in a particular state. So, isn't it the state responsibility to take care of it? Yes, because that falls within the jurisdiction or within the work areas of the state. All matters related to public order, health, sanitation, agriculture falls within under the state jurisdiction. It means only the state can take the call on this. If there are certain matters related to national defense, finances, attack of external enemy on India, all these are matters of national interest and national importance. They are taken care by the center. So what do you see here? State has its own jurisdiction, its own areas and own list on which it will work. Center has its own areas on which it will work. Local government has its own individual areas on which it works. So clear division. First feature of federalism. I hope that is clear with India's example. Second, you must be thinking, ma'am, that's fine. Everybody has their own jurisdiction. They are working amicably. Who is defining these jurisdiction? How is this federalism running? Good question. This jurisdiction is defined well with the supreme authority or interpreter of country, which we call Indian Constitution. The Constitution, when laid down, has clearly mentioned what will be the roles, what will be the areas of center, state and local government. Now you must be thinking, okay, fine, but there can be conflicts. For example, in a house with your siblings, there can be conflicts. Who resolve it? Maybe your parents. Similarly, in a country so diverse, so many states, there can be conflict between the center and states. I'll give you the example of water distribution in southern states. There was a problem between water distribution between two states. So, how does it get resolved? In such cases of conflicts, this goes, and many such other cases you can take example, the final authority to decide is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court decides in conflict issues between states and center. Now, this next thing is, to run a particular federal government or any kind of government, you need revenue. Just to run your house, you need money. So, there are various sources through which the taxes are there, through which the government gets the revenue, right? How is this defined? To avoid any other conflict, this is clearly defined, students, again in the Constitution. Now imagine all these measures are taken care already in the Constitution for the well functioning of Indian federal country. Now students, let's say if there is any change the central government wants to make in the policies of state. Any change the central government wants to make in relation to public order, improving the police force, improving the agriculture measures in a state. Can the central government do it alone? No. Because we are a federal country or any federal country would take the opinion of state. The opinion of state is very important to make the decision. Once the opinion is taken, then only decision can be made in a federal country. So you see, there is a role of central government, there is a role of state government. In certain instances, however, students, let me tell you very clearly, you will see in a federalism, the central has an upper hand. Very briefly, I'll talk about when India suffered emergency in 1975. It was a national issue. So at that time only, center gets more powers. Otherwise, central and state and local have their own individual powers and they run amicably. Now, one final thing I want to tell you. You must be thinking constantly that how is federalism running so smoothly after independence in India? There is so much diversity. Well, the answer is here. India believes in the idea of national interest. So what the central government is doing, taking care of the national interest, what the state government is doing, they are taking care of regional disparities. They are adhering to all the issues of regional crisis, trying to bring regional picture into the system. So they are helping the regional people, their cultures for development. Simultaneously, the central government is taking care of national interest. A beautiful combination of national interest and state interest helps in running of Indian federalism in such a democratic manner. So students, in this lecture, we have talked very well about federalism's definition, its key features. We have taken current example to understand how federalism is working in India, and we have understood the final goal or aim of federalism as a country. This calls an end to this lecture. See you soon.